The long-awaited arrival of the F-16 fighter jets in Ukraine has sparked debate about how they could affect the war. While some see the F-16s as a potential game-changer, a more balanced view highlights the opportunities and challenges they bring to Ukraine's defense. Introduced in 1978, the General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon, an American multi-role air superiority fighter jet, has been the cornerstone of many air forces around the world for nearly half a century. Despite its age, the F-16 represents a significant upgrade for Ukraine's air capabilities, which rely heavily on aging Soviet-era fighter jets. This upgrade with the F-16 comes at a critical moment in the war, as Ukraine seeks to counter Russia's increasingly sophisticated air operations. The introduction of the F-16s into the Ukrainian arsenal has led to considerable speculation about their potential to turn the tide of the war. In recent days, a new detail has emerged that has fueled this speculation. There are reports that an F-16 fighter jet shot down a Russian Su-34 bomber. So did the F-16 shoot down a Russian Su-34 supersonic fighter jet? Before we get into the details, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and like to support us. A military blogger with connections to the Russian Air Force wrote that one of Moscow's fighter jets was shot down by Ukrainian forces. The Telegram channel Fighter Bomber published a message that appears to be a tribute to a missing Su-34 fighter jet. "The world is the sky, brothers," the message read, next to an image of the supersonic medium-range fighter jet, a mainstay of Russia's aviation efforts in the war it launched. The pro-Moscow Telegram channel, VDV, for Honesty and Justice, shared the post, adding more details. The post claims that the Sukhoi Su-34 was shot down by an F-16 supplied by the West. The Su-34 was allegedly shot down during an aerial bombardment about 50 kilometers from the front line, killing the entire crew. The channel says that more infantry casualties will soon be reported. The main reason behind this assumption is the delivery of a large number of F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine by Western partners. Other military bloggers have suggested that the Su-34 may have crashed due to technical failure or human error. However, the VDV for Honesty and Justice channel reacted to reports that the Su-34 could have crashed due to technical failures or human error, arguing that such hypothetical scenarios highlight the obsolescence of Russian aircraft and the unprofessionalism and fatigue of the pilots. The Telegram channel accused Kremlin-linked military bloggers of lying about the Su-34 crash and preventing Russian forces from developing countermeasures against the Ukrainian F-16 threat. If confirmed, this would be the first instance of a Russian-piloted fighter jet being destroyed by a Western-supplied aircraft for the Ukrainian armed forces. So, what is the Sukhoi Su-34? The Sukhoi Su-34 multi-role attack aircraft is a twin-engine, twin-seat, all-weather, supersonic, medium-range fighter bomber originally developed for the Soviet Air Force in the 1980s. It was one of several Kremlin programs that were put on the back burner after the collapse of the Soviet Union and the economic crisis that followed. The program was later revived, and the Su-34 officially entered service in 2014. Considered one of the Kremlin's most capable fighter jets, it suffered a significant loss at a time when Moscow was struggling to maintain production of new aircraft. How do the F-16s, thought to have played a role in the Russian loss, fit into Ukraine's war strategy? Because the F-16 can operate with a large number of weapons, the range of its targets is quite wide. For example, the HARM missile, which works against radar stations, did not hold well in the avionics of Ukrainian aircraft, but it will work perfectly if launched from an F-16. And once the enemy's radar station is destroyed, air defense is almost impossible. In addition, American fighter jets can significantly affect the Russian ability to drop guided aerial bombs, a precision weapon that can cause significant damage due to its heavy warhead. First, a pair of F-16s patrolling the skies could scare the bomb carriers Su-34 and Su-35. Both aircraft can perform anti-missile maneuvers, but at this speed and load, the same hanging bombs can easily break off, along with all attachment points. This is nothing new for Russian aircraft. Guided aerial bombs regularly make emergency landings in and around Belgorod. Second, the F-16 is a maneuverable air defense system. If the Kharkov region is potentially covered by the Patriot air defense system, and Russian bombers are flying to Sumy, the complex cannot be moved in a few minutes, and the F-16 will do this perfectly. In addition, the American fighter jet can become an effective attack aircraft on the battlefield to support ground troops. If loaded with a JDAM-ER missile with a range of 150 kilometers, it can easily hit the required targets. In other words, the F-16 will be a great support for the infantry and a cover for the sky. Russia's response to the F-16 threat involves upgrading its Su-30 SM-2 fighter jets. A two-seat multi-role fighter, the Su-30 SM-2 is powered by two AL-31FP thrust vectoring engines, each producing 2500 lbf of thrust with afterburner. This thrust vectoring, combined with the aircraft's aerodynamic design, provides exceptional maneuverability and potentially gives it an advantage in close-range air combat against the F-16. The thrust vectoring capability allows the Su-30SM-2 to perform advanced maneuvers such as Pugachev's Cobra and Kulbit, which can be used to rapidly change the aircraft's direction of travel and potentially outmaneuver pursuing missiles or enemy fighter aircraft. However, these high-energy maneuvers can quickly drain the aircraft's energy, potentially leaving it vulnerable in prolonged conflicts. While on paper, these upgrades seem important and have the potential to disrupt and exploit weaknesses in the F-16, it will likely be a very difficult and resource-consuming process for Russia to implement them in a timely manner because the Russian military-industrial complex has various sanctions and technological limitations. Russian aviation is unable to update itself in the face of sanctions, and the hits it has taken pose another challenge to its air capabilities. Before the war, the balance of air power favored Russia, which deployed 350 fighter jets capable of hundreds of sorties a day. These included some of Russia's most advanced fighter jets, including the Su-30, Su-34, and Su-35S jets. In addition to its numerical advantage, the VKS also had a significant qualitative advantage with better radars and longer-range missiles. However, since the beginning of the war, Russia has lost 369 aircraft, 329 helicopters, and 16 non-Daidetu tactical operational UAVs. Aviation capabilities provide the Russian ground forces with certain capabilities. These include the ability to coordinate air and ground forces, observe and track targets of opportunity, and provide real-time air intelligence. Russia's ability to perform these functions is now significantly reduced. While the loss of individual aircraft will not have a decisive impact on Russian capabilities in the long term, it will make the application of air power and the ability to conduct both offensive and defensive ground operations more difficult in the short term. Ukraine entered the war with a much smaller and less capable force. Ukraine had about 50 MiG-29s and 32 Su-27s in its inventory, plus about 40 Su-24 and Su-25 ground attack aircraft. The commitment of 90 F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine and the transfer of the first 29 jets strengthened Kiev's hand. It is important to remember that the future is in the skies, and no nation can survive if it cannot protect the skies. Given Russia's shocking air losses, it is safe to say that the country's future is at stake. So what do you think about this issue? We would be glad if you indicate in the comments. Thank you for watching us. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and like to support us.